What up, y'all? I got a review from MTR. There's this modern day Jezebel who goes on insane rant on how she uses men. With that being said, once again, shout out to MTR. Let's get it.
I had a cuddle buddy who I would go and sleep over with afterwards because that wasn't.
That's afterwards?
No, with the other guy, I would go over there. We never had sex, but I would walk his.
What? So wait a minute. So after the coitus, after the fluids was exchanged, you go to another guy's crib to hold and console you?
The harlotry.
What is
The whoredom is real.
How do you
The
differentiate
whoredom is
between
real.
women that they could have these non-committal, friends with benefits situations with men while also wanting the feelings of being cared for, like if they were their partner? I loved what you said. So
what?
Non-committal, friends with benefits situations with men while also wanting the feelings of being cared for, like if they were their partner. I loved.
See, that is hoe speak. That is hoe speak if I ever heard it.
Said so much about accepting your
That
feelings.
is hoe speak.
When you just know in your heart, and most people can know this, 80% of people will find a long-term partner by 40. I can't promise you that 80% of people are going to get a house, are going to have their dream job. I can't make that kind of promise. You're living in the best city. But that is a stat that only exists for this space, so you can almost move like it's going to happen. But you also have no control over when you meet that person. What you do have control over, I think, though, is your light. Like being in a space where you are light, where you feel
What
like
the
that,
hell
where you
is
don't feel
wrong
needed
with this
because you
woman?
have opportunities
Oh my God.
around you.
Put me in this room.
I would say, and I did this when I had a buddy, which Jared's my buddy. Which I think
You women are hoes.
Now let's play such a good buddy.
Wait a minute. Before she starts talking about her own situation, please understand that what
This is
essentially
whoredom.
what she's saying is that because 80% of people, and I even know where she's getting
This
from, by
is
the way,
whoredom.
we gonna have to cross-reference check for some, give me the source, right? But because 80% of people will end up in some type of relationship with a long-term partner at some junction, then you within your own life, your own fluid, my truth type of a life, you can move how it is that you want to, because the inevitability will be 80% of you, irrespective of the choices, decisions that you are making, will end up in a relationship. This is absolutely ridiculous advice. This is ridiculous. The number one reason why it's ridiculous is that what you want, or the person that you wanted to be with, or did you settle because of the choices, because of decisions, because of the way that you move, because of the way that you operate? There's someone there for you. Or could you change the way that you operate in order to get a better result? That's what they never want to tell you. They want to make you free within the options to choose how it is that you want to, irrespective of the consequences of their decisions. This is absolutely absurd. Young ladies, MTRs, do not listen to whatever that they just said. Let's just keep listening to the content. Maybe I'm taking it out of context. I hope that I am.
Relationship because I think it's such a good buddy relationship because I had Jared as a buddy. I had a cuddle buddy who I would go and sleep over with afterwards because that wasn't.
That's afterwards?
No, with the other guy, I would go over there. We never had sex, but I would walk his.
What? So wait a minute. So after the coitus, after the fluids was exchanged, you go to another guy's crib to hold and console you? What is the meaning of this? What the? Did that guy know that you just got the back blast in that? Disassembled and rearranged 3 minutes before you got henceforth to the new guy's crib. This is why dating is cooked, baby. It's cooked. It's done. It's over. What more can I say about, what? If they normalize this and talk about this publicly,
This some bullshit.
as if this is just, oh yeah, I got some breakfast this morning. Oh yeah, I was over at Jared's house. I was over at Kevin's house right after. Yeah, he cuddled, man. That boy's cuddle game. Crazy. He just hold y'all. Well, I'm so glad that he did, because my orifices were so sore from the bludgeoning that I just took a couple of minutes beforehand. This shit is cooked, baby. Imagine a man spend spending money, right? Money, energy, resources, time to be in the orbit of an aesthetically faced young lady, right? And you think that she just wants some cuddles. Let me just treat her. I got on my rose-colored glasses. Disney. She just wants to be held and cuddled. Meanwhile, she just man, plus care body Dio protects you everywhere.
Join millions growing their career with Coursera. Start learning today.
Let's just go.
Smaller, we would be attracted. He was so fine. He was a model. He wasn't what Jared had sexually, sauce-wise and skill-wise.
The skills? He's smiling on her.
This other dude was stunning and gorgeous. I loved being around him. I liked his energy. I just didn't think we would have great sex. But I knew
This is
I
horrible.
liked being around somebody really attractive, and he was fun.
This here's not a woman. This here's a hoe.
And keep your heart open, and knowing that when you find the one, you're gonna know.
And you don't have to sleep with all six. That's another thing about dating. Like when you share, I'm talking to six guys, doesn't mean I'm having sex with all of them. So you could literally kind of build a bear until you find the one that you really want to be like, okay, I'm good with talking.
This is stupid.
Like the way Shan.
By the way, again, ladies, I just don't understand it. No, this is not good. This is not. No, you do not want 6 people. Let's say the ultimate man that you want within your life, you've kind of created these different roles, positions, requirements, and you have 6 men that fulfill 1/6 of the entire pie. You must understand that you will create a hill, a Mount Everest, that one man could never climb. And it's because you're giving yourself away to all of these different instances of men. It's crazy. A basketball team is a team. It's not a one-on-one sport. So you're taking a one-on-one sport and you're making it a team sport. To have a point guard, a shooting guard, a center, they all do different things individually better than they can just do if it was just one person. But that's what you're making it a. So now you have these expectations that you can never get fulfilled. And you will never get them fulfilled up to being unhappy, settling with somebody who you could have changed certain things into your past in order to cultivate fantastic and building with someone. Not the image of Superman, right? But the image of a man in reality today that you can honor, respect, and be around. But you getting your guts dug out by ham, dick, and getting all of. And the numbers show this. The stats show this. The more bodies, the more men that you accumulate. It's not like Thanos accumulating stones and you get stronger. You get weaker when it comes to all of these relationships, and the men consider you less. Word, that's how she moves. Why would I want to invest into a woman that is so easily to switch men like she switched jobs on her resume? Quick emergency meeting. I was recently searching for my name online and found way too much personal information, which brought me down this weird rabbit hole of how that could have happened, and found out that there's companies out there called data brokers that will sell your data to marketers. But it's just so ridiculous to me.
Used the model guide. You know, some people don't like that word. We're using someone for everything, right? And when he would come over to me, I love to cook. So I could tell, like, when we would make jokes, he's like, I'm just having a girlfriend, you was having a boyfriend. That admittance of that is like, oh, it's not you. But I kind of liked playing house a little bit. I loved having him come over, eat my meal, or no, it sounded like eat my enjoy my meals, watch TV. No, we didn't have sex. Watch TV with me, we cuddle a little bit, and that was just kind of it. And I wondered for a long time, is he not as attracted to me because there's no sex? And I was like, oh, he's just not enjoying or able to enjoy the other woman he's having sex with in that way. So for me, he doesn't want to touch that. We connected on dates, but it wasn't crazy sexual energy to where we were that comfortable. That person does exist.
This whole thing sounds weird.
To me, that becomes the cuddle person. I think everyone starts to get really confused. And I'm not talking about basic cuddling after. When it turns into the sleepovers and maybe you plan after, that's when it gets scary. Because we believe the cuddling after is respect. There's no world where Jared ended up marrying a woman he never respected. Leaving after sex doesn't mean there isn't respect there. It's just sometimes the safeguard for both people. But for some reason, we think if they leave, or if we don't get XYZ out of them, we're worthless, or we gave up too much of ourselves. Well, you guys too. So it's weird because I guess the accepting the fate thing, it's like knowing what I want could only be this. If I get some extras, cool, but this is what it
This
is.
is
I know
hoarding.
I need to have some good carnal sex.
This is
That's what it is.
hoarding.
That's where I want it to last. That's where I want it to stay. And like, even
Sonic just made snack time official with Dollar Snacky Hour.
Hoarding.
Dollar corn dogs, dollar monster.
want it to last. That's where I want it to stay. And like, even creating that,
Oh my
I
God.
think is important.
For women,
Shout out to feminism,
Yeah.
or
Ooh.
you will continue to boost the single mother rate from these confused young ladies that know not what they speak. You will continue to keep the situationships
These
on the
women
rise.
out
You will
here,
continue to keep
y'all
the
women are
eggplants
lost, man. I
juicy
swear.
of these young, confused,
Y'all
and
are
lost
lost.
young ladies that will prioritize the short cardinal feeling of F buddies over the long-term respect for themselves and the maturation of being a lovely, modest young woman who is not ill-experienced, saving herself for someone that gives a damn about them for the long-term life enjoyment and experience. No masculine man, not ever, wants a well-experienced young lady. Y'all can fight with biology all that you want, or continue to settle for the type of man that y'all say that you don't like, which is a feminine young man. But I actually think that a lot more women today are just getting comfortable with the image of feminine young men, because without that image, then the freeness that they tout as a superpower wouldn't exist. Let's go.
like us, not putting us together, who, again, there's a gap between what they see themselves doing and what they're actually doing. A lot of that is because of fear. So I'm just curious if you guys feel like you lost anything in pursuit of sexual liberation.
I think early on I lost myself. Like I said earlier, I was doing things for the pleasure of someone else. I was seeking validation from someone else. I was thinking that, back to what we were talking, if I give him the best head of his life, he's gonna like me more and put me on a pedestal and all these things. Like, I lost myself for a long time in the pursuit of confidence, essentially. Like, it was a false sense of confidence that I wore out to parties and clubs, and because I had the personality.
What? So, because you gave the Guac Guac 9000, you had a false sense of confidence. Is that what I'm hearing?
But maybe I didn't look as, the part. And so I lost myself a lot. And now I feel like I've gotten that back through like just being more confident in what I like and how I want to pursue my partners or what we want to partake in. But that's what I would say I lost during that search.
I want to ask about that because you always hear the story of the woman who was sexually liberated, did her thing, had her hoe phase, enjoyed it, who then finds a partner, finds God, finds insert here, and now is like, if I could give advice to younger women, it would
Again,
be
shout to
respect
MTR.
yourself, love yourself.
Yeah, let me just try to break down what it is that she just said. So essentially she's saying what I'm talking about. She followed this feminist sexual liberation, Guac Guac 9000. She watched the video of Superhead doing the damn thing on Mr. Marcus all those years ago, and then incorporated that into her acts and thought that that was going to tie down a man, found out that it didn't, that it was all a lie to begin with, just like what I'm talking about right now. And instead now she has a boost of confidence because, and then she said some shit that didn't make sense. So I'm interested, the young lady just asked this woman a great question. So let's see how she answers.
I don't think that that's the advice I would give. I'll be honest with you too. Like, even with the rebrand.
So even still, you would not give the advice to young women not to have that as a sense of joy and or accomplishment, that you can do that to a guy, or that you can have F buddies and act like you don't care about it. You still wouldn't when you just said it didn't work for you? What is this?
Right? When we started Horrible Decisions,
What?
we wore the whore badge proudly. Like, we have the whore hive. Like, it was a word that we essentially wanted to reclaim. Unfortunately, with the reversal of Roe v. Wade and all these other fuckers trying to take away our rights and autonomy, I think that we're even down the rabbit hole even further of what it looks like to be labeled as that.
How?
As a woman seeking her own sexual liberation.
Because of the overturning of Roe v. Wade?
What?
What?
What it really means is freedom and power to remove yourself from all stigmas and all labels that.
Stop. What this hoe is speaking is grade A horse shit. This is whoredom. This is bullshit. The end. It's bullshit.
Patriarchy has wanted to give us, right? And so for me, where I thought it would be an empowering word, it's one of those words that we as women, I don't think we'll ever get to reclaim, unfortunately. And so that title,
You gave up.
it's not a badge to wear that
Oh
anymore.
my goodness.
However, to feel free and to feel powerful and to be able to express to a man no, and to say, actually, this is how I receive pleasure, and you can't do that, I'm fine. Me not changing myself to appease a man or to be more likely for him to select me, that's power. That's liberation. It's not walking around here saying, oh, I
Lost
fuck everybody.
woman.
Whoever I want, I
Lost
also
woman.
take it from the back and all my holes.
You
Like,
is
there's a way to
so
express it, yeah. And we've
lost.
done it on this pod for 8 years, comedically, and we shared our traumas, we shared our laughs. Sex is fun, right? But I think for me, like, owning your true power. So when you say you want to sleep with someone, doing it because you want to do it. And really knowing what you want. Like, even when we were talking about, right?
This is whoredom.
Sorry, I need to pause this real quick.
This is
It just occurred to me.
whoredom.
So the name of this video is "What's the Emotional Tax on Casual S?" featuring Decisions Pod. So I guess, okay, let's click on this real quick. Yes. Okay, let's click on this real quick. Okay. Copyright. Let me not. So this is the Decisions Pod. I did not recognize these ladies, but I remember there being a podcast called Horrible Decisions, and I've talked about them previously on the show. Let's go down the oldest. Yeah, I was okay. Okay, this makes a ton of sense now. So these ladies had a podcast called Horrible Decisions. So she's talking. So it all makes sense now. So they had this podcast, and essentially they would talk about like just being modern women, and it was kind of like a ethnic version of like Sex in the City, and they're talking about like all of this like really graphic sexual type content. You can even see right here the way that they're branded. The bananas, they're sucking on bananas, and it's called Horrible Decisions in the thumbnail. So you can see the way that they're positioning themselves as if to take a hold of like this debaucherous relationships. So strength through sexual liberation, on the back of feminism, down with the patriarchy. We are powerful young ladies because we can do it too. It's not men having S with us, it's us using men for their bodies too. Yeah, go women. And those
so
are like sex
stupid.
toy advertisements and shit like that because no one else takes them seriously. Nevertheless, what's interesting is that when the woman here is talking about removing this once thought of displaying her sexuality like a badge of honor, she's had to change that because she was felt empty inside when doing that, because again, it's a lie. And then also their podcast, they've just rebranded it from Horrible Decisions to Decisions. So whether or not it's in relationship or if it's in business, i.e. your podcast, it's not working. But the reason why her arguments make no damn sense, and you're left scratching your head as to what is it she's even concluding or talking about, is because she still doesn't know herself. She still hasn't found herself. She still doesn't know to be a confident young woman. And instead now, through the jumbleness of the way that she describes this, she's more lost than ever. You can see here, Wheezy and Mandy enter the world of kink every week. Every week y'all was being nasty. The more and more you listen to content like this, the more and more you begin to understand why the young ladies of today are suffering with so much mental health issues that the prescription rates for SSRIs are on an all-time high. The more that you begin to understand why the A rates, the baby self-deletion rates, are so damn high, the reason that the marriage rates are going down, the reasons that the divorce rates are going up, and it's echo chambers of women unchecked, unfettered, speaking about shit like this as if they have all of the answers. They lead other low IQ women to believe this dumb shit, and then those women take on the mistakes or the burdens of the older versions of them and end up just as lost, if not more confused than them. Let's see how much else there is in this beautiful piece of content.
This pod for 8 years, comedically, and we shared our traumas, we shared our laughs. Sex is fun, right? But I think for me, like, owning your true power. So when you say you want to sleep with someone, doing it because you want to do it, and really knowing what you want. Like even when we were talking about, right,
Why would you
the
not?
casual partners, I think that's the problem with a lot of women. They're like, yeah, I just want to use him for dick. And then he comes over, and you realize, no, bitch.
And they'll say that after watching horrible decisions. Don't you get it? You contribute. Emotional control, MTR. You've been working on it lately. You've been doing a lot better. All right. You need to just address this the way it needs to be addressed. Woosah. Rub your ears, MTR. Okay. Let's go.
You want to be held. You want a hug. You want a man to rub you on your forehead. There actually are more things that you want. And now liberation to you only
This
looks
is
like
whoredom.
liberation doesn't look like asking for all of those
Whoredom,
things that you
whoredom,
want,
whoredom.
which is
It's
what leaves you
projection.
feeling completely empty.
It's
But
projection.
sexual liberation should exist in its own though.
Yeah,
Because
for sure.
to me, I agree. Like, if you do want to be held and not sex, it isn't sexual liberation. Sexual liberation to me is someone like, you even saying bondage and submission, that's very specific. That is being sexually liberated. It's not someone that will just.
No, that's whoredom.
You may not even have sex being tied up. You may get it from that, which most BDSM, most people in the BDSM community find to be the most thrilling. The release of it, the tying up, like, it's almost a foreplay and, again, the sexual energy. But I think gaining power and knowing what you want, dating, or even for yourself, is different from sexual liberation. Because you gotta think, a lot of people that would read this book are gonna figure out how to ask for threesomes, sex, how to ask more, how to be more specific about not having orgasms, things like that, how to do things on their own. But I would tie what you are asking for, though, to both. Because it's like, I'm a normal girl, hey, can I just be cuddled, but I also do want this? It's tough, because accepting the fate, like, what you want may not look like the perfect package. Do you know how hard it is to find a buddy that you can cuddle with? She didn't even get that with him, she married him. Like, it's tough. Like, then they become your man. It's like, there's a lot of pressure. Once I started getting to a place where,
But can I ask you, how do you feel liberated in settling for someone that's not giving you what you want?
getting to a place where,
But can I ask you, how do you feel liberated in settling for someone that's not giving you what you want?
it's settling for it with sex.
Like, how is there a liberation if I'm a woman and I want casual sex, but at the end, all you gotta do is just lay there with me for 10 minutes, and he's like, yeah, no, I ain't got that for you.
Gonna be
How does a woman find
5 minutes?
But, well, what I'm saying is, it could be. I used to only want 5-10 minutes.
This is
So
just
get up, put your
whoredom
clothes on and leave.
on
So what
top
I'm saying
of
is,
whoredom.
how is a woman who may just want a little bit of aftercare, which is what we talk about, especially with any sort of something that doesn't even involve sex, how do I feel liberated as a woman if I'm accepting crumbs or just pieces of what I want and not?
You have to accept that sex.
Gentlemen, listen to me. One of the things that you must always keep in the back of your head is not necessarily how a girl that you mess with talks about her ex, like not even just talks about like men in her life, her father, her brother, right? Watch them how they conduct themselves around, you know, people when they're in a position of authority, like with servers and janitors and shit like that. But also keep into the back of your mind how men have treated her in her past, men that she's been in a relationship with. If the young lady, if she lets you know that she was treated like dirt, right, not respected, right, and she tolerated this behavior, you have to keep that in the back of your mind, because at any given moment, she can use components of the trauma that she suffered by at the hands through the choice and the decisions that she made it to those men for that short-term gratification and levy it on you. But it's so crazy because they can weaponize it under this guise of a patriarchy and our rights being taken away. In modern times today, the most freest that they've ever been within the history of ever, they're still talking about oppression. And they will utilize these different stories of the trauma that they've experienced to make it your problem. It's not your problem to fix these trauma-ridden young ladies. It is not your problem.
That you're asking for isn't crumbs. Like, if you want to get
God
but it
damn.
comes with a caveat, then you need to negotiate. But knowing that you're just asking for sex, adding the extras on top is
So
something to me that surpasses just asking for the
stupid.
sex.
Not that's a la carte.
When I got super, For real.
She said the 10 minutes after, all the cart got the add-on. It's gonna cost you a little bit more.
You could definitely say to someone like, hey, like, totally want to keep it casual, but I am a cuddler, and see their response. That will probably get you what you want right there.
Would you have sex casually with a guy knowing that you like head?
Okay.
Would you have...
I don't want to hear anymore. I don't want to hear no more of their bedroom shenanigans. Guys, I'll leave a link to this content down in the comment box down below if you want to listen to their conversation.
Well,
I can't
if
do it
he's
anymore.
done,
I need to
I'm
go take a
done.
cold shower.
Peace.